of the most essential ingredients in any baking and pastry application. So I'm sure you've had it already, because vanilla pudding, any type of filling for an eclair, or sometimes even cream puffs, you'll have a little pastry cream in there, cake fillings, so lots of different things. Tart, the bottom of the tart, you have that custard layer. It's this stuff right here. So it's very essential that you know how to make it. Okay, we start with some dairy products. I'm going to heat these up. And then we have in our sugar amount. You'll notice in your recipe that the sugars are separated. Okay, so this is one of the amounts of sugar. And we're going to turn that on until it starts to steam. Okay, in the meantime, I am whisking together my cornstarch, other amount of sugar, and egg yolks until very, very smooth. Okay, the reason why we do this separately is so that you can get it with no lumps. And at first it will look like a big clump, but you just keep whisking and then you'll get a smooth mixture. See? Okay, there we go. Now this is a base pastry cream recipe. You can make vanilla, which is what we're doing today. You can do chocolate pastry cream by adding melted chocolate. You can add coffee pastry cream by adding coffee extract. You can make other flavors as well, matcha of course, stuff like that. So now we have it nice and smooth, and that's what we want. We have our butter over here on the side, and I am going to just leave it right here because we don't need it yet. This is a very important step. I see students make this mistake all the time. You just dump the butter in, and this has to stay to the side until your pastry cream is actually done, okay? So all I'm waiting for right now is you can hear it, okay? You can see the steam. This is perfect, okay? So I have my bowl here, and I'm mixing, and at the same time, here, let me help myself out, okay? In culinary terms, this is called a third hand. So you put a towel underneath your bowl, and then you whisk, and it kind of helps you a little bit. So we're gonna temper hot liquid into something cold, okay? Opposite temperature, right? Making sure that we add in just a little bit to start, okay? Just a little bit. And then we add it a little faster. Okay. My third hand is not very helpful. Go away, third hand. Okay. So now I will continue to tempering process, which is just slowly adding in my mixture. Slow, slow, slow. And the cool thing about pastry cream is that it's actually cooked twice. Okay, so first we heat up this milk and sugar, and then we heat it up again until it's nice and thick. So we'll pour it back into the pot now. Okay, then we're going to cook it over medium temperature. And then I will go ahead and switch to a rubber spatula so that I can get to the edges of my pot. So now we just wait until this looks like vanilla pudding. And I haven't added my vanilla extract in yet, because if I add it now, a lot of the flavor is just going to cook off. So I will add it close to the end. Okay? This process takes a few minutes. You want to make sure you have even heat, because if you have something with a big fire over here, you're going to burn this side of the pastry cream. And you don't want to see those burned bits, because then you'll have to strain it. Now, a lot of students ask me, do I have to strain pastry cream? The answer is, if you mess it up, yes. Okay, but if you do it correctly, then you do not have to strain it. It should be very smooth. So it's really up to how you make it. Okay, I absolutely love eating this. I don't recommend that you buy it anymore, because now you know how to make it yourself. So no more of those Jello packets of vanilla pudding. Okay, no more of those. So come closer. You can see that it's starting to thicken up, and it looks kind of lumpy at this point, but just keep mixing, okay? And then it will smooth out. You see how it gets nice and smooth? I want to get to the edges, so I go all the way to the edge too, okay? And you see how fast that was? Amazing. All right, so I'm going to turn off my heat now. My heat is completely off. I'm going to put in my vanilla. Okay. Take it off the heat. And I'm going to put in my cold chunks of butter. Okay, what does the butter do in this recipe? It gives the pastry cream a really silky, shiny sheen to it. Gives it a beautiful velvety texture. So it's very, very essential for this recipe. Okay. So we're going to keep mixing that, and since the pastry cream is hot, it is melting that butter immediately. Beautiful. I wish you could smell this. It smells really nice. Okay. Great. And you see that we don't have any burned bits and we don't have any big lumps, and therefore we do not have to strain it. So that's what I mean by if you don't mess it up, you don't have to do that extra step. So how about storing it? So I have a bowl lined with plastic wrap. I'm going to pour this hot pastry cream into the bowl. Okay. Try to get out as much as I can of the pastry cream from the pot. One of my biggest pet peeves is if you watch a cooking show, they pour out the stuff and there's like half a cup of stuff still in the pot. They just put the pot to the side. Man, that pisses me off. So none of that, okay? Cooking shows. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to wrap up your pastry cream like a present. Okay? And the reason is because you don't want any air to come in contact with the pastry cream while it's cooling. So just like that, and it's going to cool just like this. If you just leave it in a bowl and then all this air circulation, you'll get a skin. So sometimes people call that a pudding skin. And that it will create a very, very chunky texture. Okay? So we're going to let this cool in the refrigerator, and then we'll use it for whatever we want.